Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Good evening. You're watching Oman News from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos issues 2 royal decrees. On the occasion of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj, next Tuesday will be an official leave for public and private sectors. The Sultanate confirms before Health International Conference in Switzerland its concerns of citizens' health and to wipe out numerous communicable diseases. And Future Solutions Seminar discusses in Muscat the mechanisms of setting nanotechnology and the methods to benefit from it. Good evening once again, and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines, and now the news in details, presented to you tonight by Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubi'i. The details. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos issued 2 royal decrees. Royal Decree number 22 over 2014 issuing child law. Article 1 enacts provisions of the attached child law. Article 2, the attached law shall be published in the official gazette. Royal Decree number 23 over 2014 ratifies the agreement between the government of the Sultanate of Oman and the government of Japan to avoid double taxation and to prohibit tax evasion with regards to taxations on income. Article 1 ratifies the agreement in accordance with the attached wording. Article 2, this decree shall be published in the official gazette and shall come into effect from the date of its issue. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cabal of greetings to His Excellency President Paul Biya of Cameroon on his country's National Day. His Excellency Sayyid Khalid bin Hilal bin Saud Al Busaidi, Minister of the Diwan of the Royal Court and Chairman of the Civil Service Council, today issued a decision declaring Tuesday 27th Rajab 1435 Hijrah, corresponding to May 27, 2014, as an official leave for employees at the Ministries, public authorities and other departments of the state's administrative apparatus on the occasion of the blessed anniversary of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj. His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Nasser Al-Bakri, Minister of Manpower, issued a decision announcing Tuesday 27th Rajab 1435 Hijrah, corresponding to May 27, 2014, as an official leave for employees at the private sector companies and establishments. Work will be resumed on Wednesday, May 28, 2014. The decision allowed the employers and the employees to agree on a compensation or compensating this leave if necessity arises, as well as compensating employees whose weekly leave coincides with the mentioned occasion. All employees in public and private sectors extend their heartfelt greetings and best wishes to His Majesty Sultan Qaboos on this blessed occasion, praying to Allah the Almighty to protect His Majesty, grant him good health, happiness and long life, and for the return of these and similar occasions on His Majesty and the Omani people with good omen and blessings. His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Saeed, the Minister of Health, confirmed delivering Sultanate speech before International Health Conference in Geneva that the Sultanate was able to provide health for all, child care, primary health care, and wipe out numerous communicable diseases. He added that the Sultanate, through these efforts, was able to obtain high positions globally in healthcare fields. For the first time of its kind, the Minister of Health launched a health campaign to acquaint with early health diagnosis. The campaign started at An-Nahda Hospital in Muscat with the participation of specialists and various Omani medical associations with work papers focused on encouragement of early diagnosis for non-communicable diseases and ways of prevention topped by diseases that accompanying marriages by relatives, autism, and ways of avoiding drugs. The participants stressed the importance of knowing diseases that affect people, their prevention, and following healthy food and physical activities. Minister of Justice, in cooperation with public prosecution, conducted a workshop on the United Nations Agreement of Combating Crimes and Drugs, as well as mechanisms of applying it in reality. The ceremony, which was presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Abdul Malik bin Abdullah Al Khalili, Minister of Justice, aims to provide the 60 participants with knowledge and necessary technical experience on provisions of the agreement. The participants stressed during the workshop the necessity to gather efforts to protect the public capital and eliminate all kinds of corruption in the Sultanate. The corruption has a great impact that holds back the development and affects badly the economic, cultural and social spheres. His Excellency Hamoud bin Sangur Al-Zidgali, Executive President of Central Bank of Oman, said that as the Sultanate is a member at the United Nations, it implements these United Nations agreements which protect society and public capital from manipulation. The Sultanate seeks to enhance combating of crimes, redeem government objective success through righteous practices in all various life and institutional aspects. Saeed bin Mohammed Al-Kalbani, Assistant Public Prosecutor, stressed that combating corruption is not limited in public sector, but it expands to the private establishments which should be subjected to the monitoring. He also indicated that strong coordination is conducted between public prosecution and the state's financial and administrative auditing institutions, highlighting that any crime discovered by the institution is forwarded to public prosecution. Relations between the Sultanate and France and ways of strengthening them were the focus of the meeting of His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Saud bin Harb al-Busaidi, Minister responsible for Defense Affairs, and His Excellency Qadir Arif, Minister of State for Veterans Affairs, and the Minister of Defense of France and his delegation. The French minister handed His Excellency the Minister responsible for Defense Affairs a written message from His Excellency Jean-Yves Le Drian, Minister of Defense and Veterans of France, related to bilateral relations and military cooperation existing between the two countries. During the meeting, they reviewed relations between the two countries and discussed matters of mutual concern. During the meeting with His Excellency Qadir Arif, Minister of State for Veterans Affairs, and the Minister of Defense of France, Lieutenant General Ahmed bin Harith al-Nabhani, Chief of Staff of the Sultan's Armed Forces, stressed the importance of Omani-French relations in various spheres, especially in military cooperation and experiences exchange. The French guest praised Sultanate's development in various life aspects, and Sultan's Armed Forces enjoys of qualification, training and discipline and stability that become a feature for life in the Sultanate. His Excellency the Minister of State for Veterans Affairs and the Minister of Defense of France visited Sultan's Armed Forces Museum and acquainted with historical manuscripts and miniatures that depicted the architecture and ancient way of living in the Sultanate. The guest toured the fort's rooms that narrated Omani history from ancient time to the Blaze Renaissance era and listened to a briefing on development attained to Sultan's Armed Forces during glorious reign of His Majesty the Sultan. Relations between the Sultanate and the European Union and ways of stepping them up in various fields, especially in that related to agriculture and fisheries. Top talks between His Excellency Dr. Fuad bin Jafar al-Sajwani, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth, with His Excellency Adam Kolach, head of European Union mission resident in Riyadh, who is currently on a visit to the Sultanate. Talks covered experiences exchanged between the Sultanate and the European Union in agriculture and steps taken by the Sultanate in achieving food security, besides opening ways for more fish exports to countries of the European Union. A national workshop entitled Combating Illicit Trafficking in Cultural Property was held today at Radisson Blue Hotel in Al Khawair. More details with Sayyid Nayab in the following report.
Seminar for Combating Illicit Trafficking in Cultural Property. Ministry of Heritage and Culture organized a seminar today under the patronage of Major General Suleiman bin Mohammed Al-Harthi, Deputy Inspector General of Police and Customs for Administrative and Financial Affairs. The seminar was attended by a number of relevant organizations in cooperation with UNESCO.
It's actually workshops like this where the strategy and methodology will come. It's not for UNESCO to invent, let's say, a strategy and methodology. We have experience in this in other countries, and we can bring that experience to Oman. But in the end, it's for the government of Oman to decide how its strategy is best suited to its country.
The new draft law on cultural heritage was discussed in relation with Omani national legal framework. Return and restitution of cultural objects was also an important feature of the seminar. Hassan Al-Lawati, Director General of Archaeology and Museums, said,
Our National Heritage Protection Law, which goes back to 1981, there are sufficient articles which deal with such incidents. However, we are now developing our law. Recently, we finished from a very long national workshop to revise the new draft of our cultural protection law, and we are in the process now to pass this law to the standard formalities. Recently, now in current situation is that the old law of 1981 is in place. However, there are other also international different legal tools and legal means in which also if incidents happens in this field, it can also apply.
Sophie Delepire, Associate Expert, UNESCO Headquarters, said they are building capacities and raising awareness on fight against illicit trafficking of cultural objects, and their goals are prevention, cooperation, and restitution. It's a 4-day seminar that will help the Sultanate in building awareness and dealing with the issue of illicit trafficking of cultural property. Sultanate of Oman, Sayyida Nayab, Al Khuwair.
You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and still to come in our news bulletin. A number of governorates and wilayas of the Sultanate witness varied rains ranging between heavy to moderate. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. A seminar on nanotechnology entitled Future Solutions was held at Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Muscat. It discussed a number of topics regarding mechanism of settling nanotechnology, as well as ways of using it in solving environmental, health, food and educational problems in the Sultanate. The seminar came to introduce nanotech and urged the participants and institutions to benefit from the technology, as it was considered a development in scientific and technology field. It also reviewed ways of applying it in oil and gas production, in addition to agriculture, industry and others. The Shura Office discussed today several issues and subjects on its 17th meeting. The agenda included discussing medical and financial formal replies from government. More details are with Saif Al-Kindi in the following report.
The Shura Office discussed today several issues. In today's agenda, the focus was on medical projects, such as had been hospital project in the Wilaya of Sada, based on the reply sent by His Excellency, the Minister of Health, to one of the Shura members, as well as the reply sent by the Ministry of Health about Buraimi Referral Hospital. Furthermore, the office also displayed the reply sent by His Excellency, the Minister of Oil and Gas, on the issue that was already sent to the Majlis on the logistic investment of ORPIC and the issue of Moria touristic project in the Governor of Dhofar. Within the meeting, it has been also discussed on the environmental service holding company named BIA, located in South Sharqiya. On the other hand, and within the daily activities of the Council, the Legislative Committee hosted today academics and professional experts from Sultan Qaboos University to discuss the issues of amendment of the new traffic law in the Sultanate. The law has been sent to the Majlis by the government to give it more attention and consider an essential change on its subjects. The members put in some rationales on the amendments by proposed and gave clear legislative reasons for every subject. Saif Al-Kindi for English News, Muscat.
In its 6th-run Glowing Sheds exhibition 2014 was held at Photography Society in Muscat. It comes within the annual plan of the society meant to abrogate such art in the Sultanate and boost talents of photographers. 37 photographers took part in the exhibition, where 50 works have been chosen to be displayed by the sorting committee. The photographs portrayed nature and conceptual photography. It was opened by His Excellency Dr. Abdullah bin Nasser Al-Harasi, Chairman of the Public Authority for Radio and Television. A workshop on emergency response system was held in the Governorate of Dakhliya. The National Committee for Civil Defence reviewed the National Emergency Response System and mechanisms of handling emergency cases, as well as its efforts in this field. The health services system in the Governorate presented ways of dealing with emergency cases, in addition to efforts exerted in training medical cadres in this field. The workshop witnessed the participation from various specialists to exchange knowledge and introduce proper practices regarding emergency response system. Sahel Nahi's Center for Women, Care Affairs and Literacy celebrated in Salalah Applied Sciences the graduation of 50 female students in literacy who completed successfully the educational programs. Director General of the Directorate of the Governorate of the FAR presided over the ceremony. The center added this year a number of programs such as healthcare, sports, activities, reciting Quran, sewing using mobile phone and computer. The activities of the third Khasab Forum started in the Governorate of Musandam with the participation of 100 youth. The forum was organized by Khasab Sports and Cultural Club in cooperation with Sciences House for Training Services, National Committee for Youth and some bodies concerned. His Excellency Mohammed bin Abdullah Shehi, member of Shura Council in the Wilaya of Khasab, presided over the ceremony. The forum aimed to provide the participants with the positive communication skills and help them on how to make the right decision. Local and international specialist speakers participated in the forum through training programs aimed to enable youth with some positive skills, in addition to develop their abilities and talents. A number of governorates and wilayas of the Sultanate witnessed varied rains ranging between heavy to moderate rains fell in the wilaya of Al-Awabi, Nakhal and parts of the wilaya of Wadi Al-Maawil, as well as in the wilaya of Al-Rustaq and Samail, causing various wadis and tributaries to flow. A number of villages in Jabal Al-Akhdar and the wilaya of Nizwa and Izki has also witnessed rains. General weather forecast. Clear to partly cloudy skies will prevail over the Sultanate. Winds will be northeasterly light to moderate. Seas along the southeastern coast will be moderate to rough with a maximum wave height of 2.5 meters, while it will be slight to moderate along the rest of the Sultanate coast with a maximum wave height of 1.5 meters. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and now before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos issues 2 royal decrees. On the occasion of Al-Isra wal-Mi'raj next Tuesday will be an official leave for public and private sectors. The Sultanate confirms before Health International Conference in Switzerland its concerns of its citizens' health and to wipe out numerous communicable diseases. And Future Solutions Seminar discusses in Muscat the mechanism of settling nanotechnology and the methods to benefit from it. And with that, we come to an end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here in the studio and the newsroom, we do thank you for joining us, and good night.